Hi, welcome to the Walking Word. My name is Annie, where we go through the Bible in a year as part of discipling. We are currently reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, where we see the destruction, um, the, the laws pertaining to destruction of pagans, and also the blessings that come through obedience of the Israelites. When the Lord your God brings you into the land which you are to enter and occupy, and dislodges great nations before you, who are these great nations before you? The Hittites. Remember, keep that tribe in mind when later on we see the story of David killing Uriah the Hittite. So dislodge these people: the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. 7 nations more numerous and more powerful than you. And when the Lord your God delivers them up to you and you defeat them, you shall doom them. Make no covenant with them and show them no mercy. You shall not intermarry with them, neither giving your daughters to their sons nor taking their daughters for your sons. For they would turn your sons from following me to serving other gods, and then the wrath of the Lord would flare up against you and quickly destroy you. Now look at this interesting bit. God says, okay, don't give your daughters to them, and neither should you take their daughters. But there's one gender that will be entrapped as a result of that. For they would turn your sons. They didn't even say anything about daughters. They would turn your sons from following me to serving other gods. And this is where we start seeing the nature of God, and the ordinances he gives to a husband. And one of them being to lead a family into serving God. And this is the title of priesthood that is given to kingdom husbands, let me put it that way, is that they serve as a priest for a family, and it is them who lead the family to God. God has charged them with that duty. Let's continue, verse 5. But this is how you must deal with them: tear down their altars, smash their sacred pillars, chop down their sacred poles, and destroy their idols by fire. For you are a people sacred to the Lord your God. He has chosen you from all the nations of the face of the earth to be a people peculiarly his own. So, what does this mean? Peculiarly his own. It's not that the nations of the world don't belong to God, because the word also says the world and everything therein belongs to him. However, he has chosen this particular tribe, the Israelites, to reveal himself, his nature. So Israel in itself is a sacrificial tribe of all the nations of the earth, because it is by that particular tribe. I mean, God would have chosen to use my tribe and my people from my nation. He would have chosen any group of people he wanted to, but he chose Israel. And it's through Israel he's revealing himself to the whole world. Yeah, that's the whole. Peculiarly, specifically, you guys, Israel, I'm choosing to reveal myself to the rest of the world through you. Okay. It was not because you are the largest of all nations that the Lord set his heart on you and chose you. For you are really the smallest of all nations. Yeah. Now, the nature of God, where we see uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. He would have used Babylon at that time, he would have used Egypt. All these nations were huge, massive um, governments. But he chose a small nation. It was because the Lord loved you and because his fidelity to the oath he had sworn to your fathers that he brought you out with his strong hand from the place of slavery and ransomed you from the land of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Understand then that the Lord your God is God indeed, the faithful God who keeps his merciful covenant down to the 1,000th generation towards those who love him and keep his commandments, but who repays with destruction the person who hates him. What is to hate God? He does not dally with such one. Doesn't waste time dilly-dallying with such people, but makes him personally pay for it. You shall therefore carefully observe the commandments, the statutes, and the decrees which I enjoin to you today. And that's where we're saying God, when he punishes only to 3 or 4 generations, but when he rewards to the 1,000th generation. So another way to go through deliverance, another way to grow as a believer is to call down your generational blessings. They're there. They're there just waiting for you to call them down. Blessings as of obedience. As your reward for heeding these decrees, we're in verse 12. As your reward for heeding these decrees and observing them carefully, the Lord your God will keep you, the merciful, will keep with you the merciful covenant which he promised on oath to your fathers. He will love and bless and multiply you. He will bless the fruit of your womb and produce of your soil, your grain and your wine and your oil, the issue of your herds and your young of your flock in the land which he swore to your fathers he would give you. You will be blessed above all people. No man or woman among you shall be childless, nor shall your livestock be barren. The Lord will remove all sickness from you. He will not afflict you with any of the malignant diseases that you know from Egypt, but will leave them with all your enemies. Wow. You shall consume all the nations with which the Lord your God will deliver up to you. You are not to look on them with pity, lest you be ensnared into serving their gods. Perhaps you will say to yourselves, these nations are greater than we. How can we dispossess them? But do not be afraid of them. Rather, call to mind what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt, another grand nation, right? Remember that. The great testings, which your own eyes have seen, the signs and wonders his strong hand has outstretched arm, with which the Lord your God brought you out. The same hand, the same also will he do to all the nations whom you are now afraid. Moreover, so if God understands that you can be a little bit afraid. I mean, these guys are big. Oh, these people have more money than me, or these people are more uh, educated than me, these people are more well traveled than me, these people are more exposed than me, these people drive bigger cars than me, live in bigger houses, bigger. God is like, chill. Just remember how far I've brought you from. Focus on that. Remember the wonders I've already done in your life since you were a child. Focus on that. We continue. We're in verse 16. You shall consume all the nations which your Lord your God will deliver up to you. You are not to look to them with pity, lest you be ensnared by serving their gods. Perhaps you will say to yourselves, these nations are greater than we. How can we dispossess them? Do not be afraid of them. Rather, call to mind, remember, what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all in Egypt, the great testings, which your own eyes have seen, the signs and wonders, his strong hand and outstretched arm, with which the Lord your God brought you out. The same also he will do to all the nations of whom you are now afraid. Moreover, the Lord your God will send hornets, the big bees, among you, and will send hornets among them until the survivors who have hidden from you are destroyed. Therefore, do not be terrified by them, for the Lord your God who is in your midst is a great and awesome God. Okay, he will dislodge these nations before you little by little. You cannot exterminate them all at once, lest the wild beasts become too numerous for you. So leave some of your enemies for wild beasts. Okay. Um, but also remember, where a population is big, wild animals rarely encroach in. Then the Lord your God will deliver them up to you and will rout them utterly until they are annihilated. He will deliver their kings into your hand, that you may make their names perish from under the earth, from under the heavens, sorry. No man will be able to stand up against you till You have put an end to them. The images of their gods you shall destroy by fire. Do not covet the silver or gold on them, nor take it for yourselves, lest you be ensnared by it. Probably these are charms and things like that that these pagan tribes use in the worship of their God. For it is an abomination to the Lord your God. You shall not bring any abominable thing into your house, lest you be doomed with it. Loathe and abhor it utterly as a thing that is doomed. One thing I want to encourage you today, just as we're reading, we're seeing the encouragement Moses is giving them concerning as you enter the promised land, things to do, things not to do, focus on the Lord, regardless of how it looks ahead. But it ends with do not take any abominable thing into your house. As a believer, make it a habit to ask the Holy Spirit, is there anything in my house that you detest? An item, and these things are called abominable things or accursed items, things that bear a curse that are within your environment. Ask the Lord, is there anything in my house that you detest that is an accursed item? Give me an understanding that I may get rid of it. We continue chapter 8, where we see, Moses explaining God's care for the Israelites.